Hi, what kind of cooking oil are you using? What kind of cooking oil should you be using? Does it matter? Is one better than the other? I'm going to talk about that in this video. Check it out. Hi, welcome. I'm Coach Tonya here at Critical Bench, and today I'm going to be talking about cooking oils. Interestingly enough, got a lot of questions about this. I can't remember what video it was, but a lot of questions came through on the YouTube channel, so I thought, well, I'll do a video, I'll talk about it. And before I get started, I'm not even going to necessarily recommend you should be using this one. When it comes to cooking oils, there's different types and for a reason, and a lot of that has to do with the kinds of cooking you're doing. So if you're frying, if you're roasting, if you're basting, if you're sauteing, if you're grilling, some are going to work better than others because of their smoke point, which just means the amount, the intensity of the heat that they can handle, but also because it changes the flavor. So if you're cooking, say if I'm going to be cooking Thai food, I will typically use things like sesame oils and peanut oils because I want those flavors in the food I'm making. So while it does come down to, for a lot of you, you want to know what is best to use from a health perspective, if you're a foodie like myself, you also have to weigh out and consider, well, what's going to taste the best, or what is going to at least not really alter the taste of what I'm making. So it's a bit of, it's not just necessarily all clear cut, okay? There's a lot of things to consider. Now, I'm strictly going to be talking about oils for cooking. I'm not going to be talking about oils that you just simply take as a supplement. So if you're someone that takes like Udo's oil blend or just any other kind of oil, I'm not talking about those. That's kind of a whole separate deal, which I will do a video on. But we're just talking about cooking and what there is available, which ones are some better ones, and how you may be using them in your cooking to provide like a healthier meal, but also to not ruin the flavor of what you're trying to cook. So when it comes to like the one ingredient, most of us have oil in our kitchen, and probably I'm willing to bet that a lot of you have some form of olive oil, whether it's extra virgin or whatever, but most people have olive oil. It's been around for so long, and for such a long time it was touted as the healthiest cooking oil to use. And not just for cooking, it's also great for things like dressings and marinades. So it's a very versatile oil, actually. It can, depending on which, like there's different types of the olive oil, and just looking at it on a shelf in a glass bottle, you can see some are much darker in color moving up to your lighter, and that has to do with the processing, which I'm not getting into. But you can just tell by looking at them what's going to be a heavier oil, probably have a stronger flavor, working up to the lighter ones that will have a lighter taste and they will be lighter in your cooking. So with olive oil, it tends to be kind of a go-to, one size fits all. It's used a lot by a lot of people, and that's because it is very versatile in terms of going from things like marinades and salad dressings to actually cooking. Now with respect to cooking, it's best for things like sauteing and roasting because it doesn't have a super high smoke point. It's 320 degrees Fahrenheit, which is definitely high, but it's not like your 350 to 400. So when you're looking at what you're making, stick to those. It's going to add the most flavor and going to be the best choice to use for those types of dishes that you're making. Now, coconut oil. It's not that it's that new, but it's kind of maintained for the last few years. Like it's sort of almost something of like a miracle oil. And I've talked to people that they just eat it right off the spoon because it's going to do all these wonderful things for them. It's going to help them lose weight. It's going to clear up their skin. It's going to do all of these magic things. Now, olive oil is a great oil, but I think it's important to not get caught up in the hype and look back at the science, because is coconut oil healthy? Yes, it is, but like anything, if you're not using it the right way, if you're using too much of it, it's not going to do all these wonderful things you think it's going to do. So with coconut oil, it does have a lot of health benefits. It certainly does, but you have to be, be realistic in what you're using it for and how you're using it, because misusing it is not going to help you. Now, when it comes to cooking with it, it's not really practical for cold dishes because it hardens very quickly. It doesn't stay liquid. So it's not really great for things like vinaigrettes or salad dressings, marinades, and stuff like that. But if you're cooking at a higher temperature, it's great for roasting and again for sauteing because it has a smoke point of 350, so it's more stable at the higher temperatures, and it can actually add a really nice flavor to some dishes without overpowering the flavor of the foods that are in there. So that might be one that you want to consider for you know, some like things like Thai cooking, or maybe you've got a certain like some veggies that just that little hint of coconut is just going to add that little extra to your dish, that little extra flavor. Okay. Avocado oil, another great oil. Now, personally, I would rather just eat avocados because I love them so much. But avocado is all around a very healthy oil, and it's very high in monounsaturated fats, which are your good kinds of fats. So these are the healthy fats. It has a very high smoke point, like 520 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's very good for cooking at high temperatures. And it's also great for cold dishes, so vinaigrettes, dressings, marinades. You know, if you're making your own homemade salad dressing, it's great for that. It can be a little heavier depending on how it's processed and what brand you're buying. Some avocado oils will have a stronger taste, kind of similar, like the same thing that happens with olive oils. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping and looking for your avocado oil, what you're going to be using it for, because the heavier, the darker it is, the more flavor it's going to add to whatever it is you're making. The only, for me personally, the one kind of, I guess, con or negative thing about olive oil is the price. It's very expensive. I even find it, I live in Florida, so where I am, I find it to be much more expensive even than coconut oil. And it wasn't all that long ago that coconut oil was very expensive. So now avocado has kind of taken first place in the cost race. Sesame seed oil. Now, technically, sesame seed oil is a vegetable oil. It's a much healthier oil, though, compared to things like canola, sunflower, and safflower oil. And it has been known to, there are some studies that have shown that sesame seed oil may actually help lower blood pressure, blood sugar, and improve skin, like plumpness and softness. So there's that. If you like tahini, which is a spread, like you can use it in all kinds of things, but that's got a lot of, it's a sesame seed based product. It's delicious, and that's going to be very high in the sesame seed oil fat. Now the taste is very distinct, so you do have to be, when you're using this for cooking, you're going to be cooking probably certain types of dishes, certain cultures that you'll be cooking from, because there's no getting away from the taste. You can taste it. Now, I love the taste, but again, there's certain things I don't want that sesame seed taste on. It's not going to taste very good. I certainly don't want to use it as the oil base for my Caesar salad dressing, but it's great on an Asian salad that I make that's got all like water chestnuts and things like that in that. It's very delicious and complements it. So it does add a really nice nutty flavor to anything that you use it for. And I wrote this here because I didn't want to forget to tell you, because this actually, I didn't know this number. I knew that it did provide vitamin K, but actually sesame seed oil provides 17% of your recommended daily value of vitamin K, and vitamin K helps promote, healthy bones, and it helps prevent blood clotting. So there's a little tip for you. It's also got a very high smoke point, up to 410, which is, so if you're doing if you're doing some of these high heat saute vegetables like in woks and stuff, sesame seed oil is a great go-to. So it's another really nice, if you do a lot of that kind of cooking, it's a nice oil to keep on hand, and probably just the smaller bottle will last you a long time, unless that's the kind of cooking you do all the time. Now, the last one I want to talk about, I'm sure many of you heard about it, is called ghee. And some of you may have even been recommended to start using ghee as opposed to butter for dietary issues and health issues by either a doctor or a naturopath, or some sort of holistic practitioner may have recommended using ghee. Now, ghee is a form of clarified butter, so the milk protein has been removed. That way folks who have lactose or dairy intolerances can have a butter type substance to consume without it hurting their digestive tract or making them feel sick. It's a great source of fat-soluble vitamins, and it has a much more intense flavor than regular butter, so it's almost more of a nutty flavor. Now, since it's pretty much entirely all fat, because the dairy part has been removed. You do want to use it in moderation because it's still a fat, and while it's a good fat, it's a healthy fat. Too much of even a good thing is not a good thing. Remember, we have to be logical and reasonable in how we're using any products, but because we're talking about oils and fats, you've got to use common sense when using these food products. Very high smoke point of 465 degrees. So if you're looking for something that's like butter to cook with, this is a great alternative. And what did I put? I made a note here for myself. And what did I see? I do this. I make notes in like some kind of weird language that I have in my head, and then I look at it and go, what did I mean by that? It's like some kind of weird shorthand that I've just created. Oh, here we go. When I figure out the arrows. So I have here that 1 teaspoon, because you do want to use this sparingly. A little ghee goes a long way, okay? Keep that in mind. A little goes a long way. 1 teaspoon contains 45 calories, so 5 grams of fat and 3 grams of saturated fat. So again, it is a healthy oil option, but be conscious of how much you're using it, okay? So that was a very quick rundown of, what was that, 5 types of oils that when it comes to cooking that you might want to consider. Which ones are great for cold dishes, which ones are great for hotter dishes, and just things to be aware of in terms of color, intensity of taste and flavor, so you know that what you're choosing to work with is going to complement what you're making, but also makes the most sense to cook with if you're cooking low heat, high heat. And yeah, just some tips there for you. Hey, thank you so much for sticking with me and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting and fun, and it just may make your next trip down the oil aisle in the grocery store a little more interesting for you. You know, you've got options, right? If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that notification button and the subscription button as well, so you never miss any of our great video content. And if you liked this video, and if you'd like some more information on just consumption of healthy items, things that are good for you, I want you to check out that pinned comment below. I have a free gift for you. It is 5 ways to boost your immune system. Now, this is a free report that I wrote for you that is a great it's a great resource in terms of things you can do to support a healthy immune system, because a healthy immune system is very important. There's a lot of things, I mean, the immune system is amazing. It knows exactly what to do, but if you're interested in doing more good things to help support a strong, healthy immune system, check out that pinned comment. You're gonna love that free report. I'm Coach Tonya. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon.